It's been 5 days now since Khalif Kairo's last post on X. Now, this is quite unusual of him because, as you know, he tends to be a yapper, honestly, and he talks a lot on social media. But in the last 5 days, he has been silent. So the question is why? Where is he? What is happening? Why am I not hearing some motivation in the morning or some, God? I don't know if you've heard this story, but recently this guy going by the name Clement was hosted on Ikonini podcast. And there's actually two parts. And the second part is interesting. Okay, both parts are interesting because Clement has given us another different picture of Khalif Kairo. Let me first give you the first picture we know of Khalif Kairo. Now, Khalif Kairo is this person who has motivated young people. Some people look up to him, and that's because he, one, claims to be a hard worker. Two, he claims to own big businesses and be a multimillionaire at quite a young age. And three, he's always talking about how, God, hard work and whatnot, and sometimes he talks about enemies. So that's Khalif Kairo. Basically, he paints this picture like he's got everything going well. However, according to Clement's story, Khalif Kairo is messed up, and he messed up Clement badly. So in this second part of Ikonini podcast, Clement has proceeded to even share information of how Khalif Kairo destroyed his marriage. Yani Khalif Kairo destroyed everything, every aspect of Clement's life, from finances to marriage to the work environment, and everything just became sour. But it started with good intentions because Clement was this guy who had a lot of money, and Khalif Kairo is this guy who has big dreams. So what happens when a person with big dreams and ideas meets a person with money? So they have this relationship, and Clement thinks this guy with his great mind, tunaweza fika mbali. And he decides to invest in him. And when I talk investment, I'm not talking some 2K urgently or 10K urgently. Clement in this whole podcast has been speaking of millions. So that's the kind of money he invested in Khalif Kairo. Khalif Kairo broached this idea, and they started up this company known as IBK. But a short while into the company, things started going badly because of Kairo's poor management. Kairo just was here and there, but doing the most to bring the company down. And eventually it did come down, with Clement losing a total amount of about 60 million Kenyan shillings. So let me break down this second part of the episode because it has stirred quite a reaction, especially the part of Khalif Kairo being a snitch. How the hell do you go ahead and poke your nose into other people's business? Okay, we do it online, but that's because we are just spectators. But Khalif Kairo went ahead to actually call Clement's wife and tell Clement's wife that her husband wasn't as holy as she thought, further telling her that he was cheating with his baby mama. He told her this on WhatsApp and even had long calls with her. I don't know what he was telling her in these long calls, but this is all according to Clement's story.
Hata kitu kingine sijakwambia, hiyo time akiwa Japan, alipigia wife.
Wife wako?
Yeah. Alipigia wife. Hata niko na hizo messages hapa. Akatumia wife messages. Hey bro.
Hii saa alikuwa anaambia wife vile uko unatandika kama wife za watu wengine.
Unasema nini? Alikuwa anasema niko na Airbnb huku. Alikuwa anasema huyo bwana wako anajifanyanga pasta huyo. Huyo sio pasta huyo. So mimi nilikuwa na vita kila mahali. Sio kwa ofisi.
So imagine how messed up that is. Like, isn't it enough that you've made me lost money? Umeamua sasa mpaka to come at my relationship. And that's not all. Khalif Kairo literally disrespected Clement right after Clement had done the most into bringing him up. Yani Clement invested into his ideas, into his lifestyle, into his education, paying him twice, buying him an iPhone on his birthday. He had a good heart and was looking at helping this person. But right after doing that, asante ya punda kweli ni mateke, because Khalif Kairo did exactly that. Mateke left, right, and center. And he even got to a point where he told Clement that, you know what, wewe hauna pesa, you don't have money, I can go and find someone else, some other billionaires who have more money than you. Listen to this.
Umenifanyia, umekuja, umekula pesa yangu, umevurugia kampuni na nitaanguka. Lakini my friend, utaipatana na mtu kama mimi. Even nilimshow. Akaniambia, wewe hata una do.
Najua watu.
Na sasa akiniambia sina do, ni ukweli mazee, do ilikuwa imeisha. Wewe hata una do. Mimi ndio nipatana na mabilionea wasira kuna do mingi kukuliko. Mimi nikamwambia sasa tofauti yangu nao ni mimi ni brother yako. Mimi siwezi kufanyia kitu yoyote. But I say msana na kupea 100 mic na utakuwa accountable for every single shilling yenye unatumia. Kama utashindwa kuwa accountable, my friend, nilimwambianga hivi river yale ijaja. That's what I told Kairo. Utakumbuka hiyo time kulikuwa na story.
Najua.
I think hiyo ndio alienda hiyo kichwa yake, unajua venye wewe inafanya kazi, akaenda akafikiria nilimwona.
It's the audacity for me, right after mtu amekusaidia hivyo vyote. So that's what happened, and Clement lost a lot of money in the company. He had to make some refunds as well. That's another thing Khalif Kairo did. Talk about going right behind your friend's back and doing the most to bring them down. He went even to Japan and looked for Clement's supplier and told this supplier that, you know what, the company is going bankrupt. So you can't, that's telling someone that you can no longer deal in business with this person because their company is going down. And he didn't stop there. He went ahead and called the clients and told them the same thing. And even added that they should ask for refunds, hoping probably that they'd invest in him or maybe get cars from him instead. And he stole Clement's customers, stole Clement's suppliers, messed up his marriage, and even affected the whole family. To a point, it affected the kids, because when Khalif Kairo came out to expose Clement, remember, we are having two different versions of the story. These people have known each other for long. They've worked each other for some time until this beef came up. And we had the first narration, which was the first story of Khalif Kairo, which painted Clement as the bad person, because Khalif Kairo was talking about how Clement was out to take his company from him, kumnyanganya company yake. And as Kenyans, people empathize, people sympathize, and people saw Khalif Kairo as the hero in the history. In the story, and Clement as the evil person. So that's the first narrative. But now, there's a whole 360 change in people's perspective, and Khalif Kairo is really the evil one. So the one thing that makes it all look suspicious is what I started by telling you in this video. He's been MIA. Like Khalif Kairo, after being exposed by clients, we didn't see him shut up, for some time, but he didn't really shut up. He was out here talking about how it was his enemies. His enemies were hoping he would go down. He hadn't. He's okay, Then he started flying planes. And let's talk about the interviews that he's done to clear his name. Khalif Kairo's side of the story. Where is he now? Khalif Kairo, come and bring us your story. Come and bring us your story. Because he's been MIA for the last 5 days. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video.